Google? Hello there? Lady Google? Are you there? Let's move on to some stuff that I've been meaning to Google lately. Let's go ahead and break this down. Ooh! It is etymology time with Brittany Broski. Etymology. The study of the origin of words and the way in which their meanings have changed through history. Yes! Who is the god? Hold on, maybe I might know it. The goddess of the hunt. Demeter? The goddess of the hunt. Demeter. Hold on. If I got that right, who is the goddess of the hunt? Diana. Shit. I was so confident. And why is that even? Why is there cyanide in tampons? Cyanide. So I made that up. Arsenic. Now see, sometimes I get arsenic confused with arsonists. And I was like, surely that's not it. It's arsenic. Sorry. I'll be taking an arsenic pill every morning. Arsenic in tampons. Arsenic is a naturally occurring element that can be present in soil, water, and plants. It is believed that arsenic may enter tampons through the cotton or rayon used in their production. Studies have detected arsenic levels in tampons ranging from 0.002 to 0.035 nanograms per gram. These levels are generally considered low, but they're still higher than the maximum allowable level of arsenic in drinking water. Yay! The long-term health effects of exposure to low levels of arsenic through tampons are not well known. However, arsenic is a known carcinogen, yay, and can cause a variety of health problems, including skin lesions, cancer, and cardiovascular disease. Awesome. If you are concerned about the presence of arsenic in tampons, consider using organic or bamboo tampons, which may have lower levels of arsenic, but never free of it, right? Never truly free. Go back to taurine. What is it? Non-proteinogenic aminosulfonic acid. What the fuck does that mean? A disciple or student of the Greek philosopher Epicurus. Okay, thanks, dude. What do you mean by his teachings? In modern In modern popular usage, an Epicurean is a connoisseur of the arts of life and the refinements of sensual pleasures. Epicureanism implies a love or knowledgeable enjoyment, especially of good food and drink. What's the Epicurean lifestyle? An approach to life that stresses finding happiness through living simply. Is that not what I talk about on this podcast every fucking week? We're rebranding to the Epicurean Report. What is BPA found in? Shatterproof windows, eyewear, water bottles, epoxy resins that coat some metal food cans, bottle tops, and water supply pipes. Oh, perfect. Yay! Yay! So fucking everything. Woohoo! Indian runner duck. Oh my god, wait, I love them. They're the real skinny ones, and they it looks like they're on segways. Like they lean forward and they run and they Maybe I need a duck. Maybe I need a pet duck. The next time I film it, look, they're so cute. Where are they going? Where are you guys going? The British Waterfowl Association. Now, you know these Brits go nuts about ducks. Abrahamic religions, which is Islam, Christianity, Judaism, right? Those are all Abrahamic? The Abrahamic religions. Judaism, Christianity, Islam. I am the smartest person in this room. What is the most expensive stamp in the world? Oh, tea, dude. The most expensive, is this what we're doing? Other podcasts are so tea-centric. I always see those comparisons on TikTok of these podcasts are and then this bitch said to me, and then no, I will say her name, that shit, and then it'll cut to the Broski report, and it's the thing about Dracula was that he had a narcissist complex, okay? He was a narcissist. Renfield syndrome is when you drink the blood of other animals. Got it. Okay, here's the most expensive stamp in the world, if anyone was wondering. The British Guinea 1 cent magenta. The most expensive stamp on record is the British Guinea, that's not Guinea, 1 cent magenta.
Only one is known to exist. It was ordered to be printed by the Postmaster General of British Guinea in 1856 after a shipment from London was delayed. Its first sale was recorded in 1874 for 6 shillings, $1.44. Now let's see what it goes for today. In June 2014, the stamp was sold at Sotheby's auction for a whopping $9.48 million. Y'all need to get into stamp collecting. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to introduce you to a lucrative little side hustle. The buyer was high-end shoe designer Stuart Weitzman, who simply tucked the stamp into his pocket after the record-breaking sale. What the fuck?
Google? Oh, what a lovely song selection.
A solstice is an event that occurs when the sun appears. I don't care. I halfway through reading that was like, I actually don't fucking care. What if we were co-parenting? What if we were co-parenting and I needed alimony? What is alimony? Financial support that a person is ordered by a court to give to their spouse during separation or following divorce. Alimony and child support. Bitch, what about our children? What about young Seamus? Purgatory meaning. In the Roman Catholic doctrine, this is what purgatory is. A place or state of suffering inhabited by the souls of sinners who are expiating their sins before going to heaven. Oh, so it's an in-between. Oh, like atoning. Expiate?
Expiate.
Great word. What is left over after smelting? Slag. Where was Salvator Mundi found? Holy shit. The original Salvator Mundi has not been seen in public since it was sold at Christie's in May 2013 to an anonymous bidder who was later revealed to be an ally of Saudi Arabia Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The painting's whereabouts are unknown. Oh, the 500-year-old painting, likely the work of a student of Leonardo, was found in a bedroom cupboard in the southern Italian city of Naples. In January 2021, this is from the Google AI shit. In January 2021, Italian police found a 16th century copy of Leonardo da Vinci's Salvator Mundi in a bedroom cupboard in an apartment in Naples. The painting had been stolen from the Doma Museum at the Basilica di San Domenico Maggiore in Naples, but officials were unaware because the room where it was kept had been closed for months due to the coronavirus pandemic. The painting's owner, a 36-year-old man, was arrested on suspicion of receiving stolen goods. He told police he had casually purchased the painting at a flea market, but police considered that story less than credible. The painting has since been returned to the church's Muscatola Chapel. Jimmy Peppers. Ingredients. Jimmy Peppers are a sweet, mild, fire engine red pepper variety, or Jimmy John's Jimmy Peppers, a hot cherry pepper mix used in their sandwiches. Hot cherry pepper mix? Hot cherry pepper mix? I hardly know her. Oh my god, I found my fucking people on Reddit. I found my community on Reddit. Did you know you can get a gallon of Jimmy John's spicy peppers for $20 and they're delicious on everything? Where the fuck do you buy this? You can get 1 pound of Mama Lil's, which are the same thing for a little cheaper. Now, Mama Lil's is what Alyssa's Magic uses. If y'all know my girl Alyssa on TikTok, she does the snack plates. She introduced me to those snack plates. There's a Trinity knot. Okay, you guys might have seen this one before. It's the 3, it looks like Zelda. Okay, and maybe I made that up. Zelda logo. Shit. Duck mallard. Oh, the mallard is the man. The mallard is a dabbling duck that breeds throughout the temperate and subtropical Americas, Eurasia and North Africa. It's been introduced into, okay, don't care. Is a female duck a mallard? The female duck is called a hen or a duck. The male is called a drake. Oh, mallards are a species of duck. Oh, I had no idea. Anyway, I would like to chew on these, flocking powder included. What is flocking powder used for? What is Waka Flocka powder used for? Oh, it's made of asbestos. I'm just kidding. Flocking powder, also known as flock, is a material made of tiny synthetic fibers. Shit. It's used to create textures and finishes on many surfaces. Apply millions of short fibers to an adhesive-coated surface to create a velvety or brush-like texture. It's often used on jewelry boxes, glove compartments, and car headliners. I thought that was a velvet. They do that instead of velvet? Oh, you can create it. You can mix it in with materials to add colors in the form of pointillism, which creates dots instead of blends of color. That's tea. Using flocking powder with card-making dyes to add texture and interest to background. Sprinkle the powder on top of adhesive, shake off the excess, and then heat to dry and set. Okay, so it's like a crafting thing. Who wrote the Magna Carta? Who wrote the Magna Carta? John. Just ordered some kimbap and tteokbokki.
Tteokbokki.
Okay, not the American fucking pronunciation and not the British pronunciation. I don't want to colonize your pronunciation. How do you say it in Korean? Yeah. So I ordered kimbap. How close can you get to Area 51? You can drive to the extraterrestrial highway and go hiking at Tikaboo Peak. It's approximately 26 miles to the east of the base and is a publicly accessible vantage point. While you can't enter the base itself, this offers a relatively close view from a distance. That's still miles away. How do you get into Area 51? How do you get into Area 51? It's basically impossible. Okay, perfect. It's only slightly less impossible to see it. The top secret military base is smack in the middle of the Nevada desert in a dried out lake bed surrounded by mountains. The closest peaks are heavily guarded so no one can spy on the activity below. How do you get hired at Area 51? Area 51 is a base, not an employer, so nobody can work for Area 51. Yeah, you know what I fucking mean, girl. First, apply for and be accepted into the United States Air Force. Why is Area 51 owned by the Air Force? I might need to call my dad. The U.S. Air Force and CIA acquired the site in 1955 primarily for flight tests of the Lockheed U-2 aircraft. Okay, T. All research and occurrences in Area 51 are top secret sensitive I gotta call my dad. Because it functions as flight testing and training facility primarily. Okay. Let's call my dad.
Lady Google, I wish you would change the fucking song.
How to get over a fear of death. Kronos, you guessed it, killed his dad to take power. And his dad was Uranus. The most expensive painting in the world, Google is telling me, is Salvator Mundi, with the cost of $450.3 million. Claims the title of the costliest painting in the world. Good morning, Vietnam! Where is Vietnam on a map? There. Where is Vietnam on a map? I know this. Vietnam. It's right next to Cambodia. It's right here. It's right here. Oh, this map isn't that accurate, is it? What are some common explanations of deja vu? Deja vu explained. Deja vu meaning already seen in French. Now, see, I had no idea that's what that meant, which is making sense. The feeling of familiarity with a situation or experience that you know you've never encountered before. And while its exact cause is unknown, it's often linked to memory processing or subtle neurological events. Do cows have horns or antlers? Cows have horns. In mammals, true horns are found mainly among the ruminant artiodactyls in the families Antilochipridae, pronghorn, and Bovidae, cattle, goats, antelope. Those are horns. Everything else is pretty much actually going to be, antlers. So, is purgatory a good or bad thing? Okay, this is from Corpus Christi PHX, the Corpus Christi Catholic Church in Phoenix, Arizona. Purgatory provides us with hope because God, in his justice, does not simply cast us out of his presence for all the messes we've made. Rather, in his mercy, he gives us an opportunity to cooperate with the redemptive work of Jesus, and together with him, we can clean up those messes. Why can't you isn't the point of you do that while you're alive? Taurine is a major constituent of bile and can be found in the large intestine. You're telling me I got taurine in my body? I am a Taurus. Thanatos. In ancient Greek mythology, do you see how this is all related? Thanatos is the personification of death, the son of Nyx, night, and the twin brother of Hypnos, sleep. So night and sleep are brothers, and the son of night is death. Okay. Okay. I'm scared. Okay, yeah. I'm horrified.
Lady Google and I were speaking earlier, quite an aggressive tone of voice. When suddenly I requested the motor carriage be brought round, because I could not stand the sight or sound of her any longer. It's quite grating on my eardrums like nails upon a chalkboard. Google. Quite the ghastly woman. Not to be choked. Pardon me.
What is involved in purification? Purgatory. What are we Googling? The purification involves suffering and a sense of fire, but the exact nature of this cleansing is not fully defined by the church. The pain of purgatory is a pain of love, a purifying suffering that atones for sins and reestablishes holiness and justice. See, this is where y'all start to lose me. What's it called when it's not canon? Non-canon. Fuck you! Fuck you! Let's look up, when did prepaid stamps start? On January 10th, 1840, the postage for all half-ounce letters was set at 1 penny. The introduction of prepaid stamps and stationery took nearly 4 more months, becoming valid for postage on May 6th, 1840. Clytemnestra? Whatever the fuck her name is. And who is she the daughter of? Clytemnestra? Wife of Agamemnon? No way. The king of Mycenae? And the half-sister of Helen of Sparta. That's big T. Tannins and something else. What is tannin? Tannins are a class of astringent polyphenolic biomolecules that bind to and precipitate proteins and various... Don't care. Lost interest really quickly there. Let's go back to... Why don't redwoods rot? Oh, duh! This is a substance occurring in hemlocks, oaks, and many other trees from which it is extracted and used in tanning leather. I don't know why I said duh like I knew that. I did not know that. Is redwood resistant to rot? Now, will it burn? Redwood is particularly resistant to weather. Both woods are rot and insect resistant, but cedar may require additional sealant or treatment for longer lasting protection. And so it only makes sense that who overthrew Kronos? Zeus, let's fucking go! That's right! Illegitimate son. That's crazy to me. Bastard! He's the bastard son of the great chef Gusteau. Angus dogs and perfect snogging. Aaron Taylor Johnson. Oh my god, I have to watch this! I have to watch this! This movie is so fucking good. This movie is so good. Oh, my face just got hot. Oh my god, my face just got hot. Swedish uses long gliding strokes. What the fuck?
All right, what's next? Google Siri Alexa.
What does Caucasian really mean? Caucasian definition. Because I don't even know if I'm Caucasian. I'm just white. white-skinned, of European origin, a white person, a person of European origin, a person from the Caucasus. Now, that's a mountain range, is it not? Caucasus. Yes. Now, see, look. The Caucasus is a geographically diverse region straddling Eastern Europe and Western Asia. Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, and parts of southern Russia. Now, see, I don't claim that. I'm not Caucasus. I'm a white skin from Europe. Do you chew oysters? What? Oysters should be... Yes, oysters should be chewed. Ew, fucking gag. Not swallowed whole. Ugh. Chewing allows you to savor the full flavor profile of the oyster, including the briny oyster liqueur. Oyster liquor that enhances the taste. What the fuck is oyster liquor? I was making some Brittany liquor in that tube in the river, let me tell you something. And nobody wants to taste Brittany liquor. Chewing releases the full flavor of the oyster. Taking time to chew allows you to fully appreciate the delicate taste, and it allows you to release the salty, briny liquid within the shell. What is the rule for eating oysters? Enjoy them while they are fresh and kept cold on ice and are safe. The R month rule, September through April, is a food tradition. Modern oyster farming practices and refrigeration make oysters safe to eat year-round if sourced from reputable vendors. It's also recommended to enjoy oysters with a small fork to ensure they are detached from the shell before slurping them from the wide end. An oyster shooter? Can one person eat a dozen oysters? Most experts recommend eating no more than a dozen oysters a day. They're a great source of vitamins and minerals like zinc, but even those nutrients are important to have in moderation. Who was the first person to be like, clamshell, I need to suck on it. What if I put it in my mouth and suck on it and lick around and suck the juice and put hot sauce and lemon and like just digging around in the sand like, dinner. Anachronistic. Now, why'd you say it like that? Belonging to a period other than that being portrayed. I guess it's sort of a culturally anachronistic phenomenon, right? Like, I'm not English. Against all better judgment. I know I look like it. I know it makes sense for me, but it's not, I'm not. So watching these sort of shows, like, this is its own little world. And it's so different from where I am and like what I like, how I talk, how I speak to me mates and things like that, you know. So watching it, I really absorbed it. I was also very young. Maybe I was a wee little girl, like watching it. You're a sponge, I think, when you're little, like when you're growing up. What the fuck is a Charlie horse? Have I already looked this up? A Charlie, okay, now it's spelled Charley, is a common term for a muscle cramp, particularly in the calf muscle. Calf is my calf is not my thigh. It is lower calf. Why is it called a calf? Why is my leg meat called a calf? The word calf to describe the back of the lower leg likely comes from Old Norse kalfi. The word might share a root with the Germanic word kalb, which is also used for young cow, and a Proto-Indo-European, Proto-Indo-European word gelb, meaning swell. The swelling or rounded shape of the leg muscle might have influenced the naming of both the area of the leg and the young cow. So it's Nordic and Proto-Indo-European. Crazy. Massage helps to increase blood flow to the area, which can help to deliver oxygen and nutrients to the muscle and remove waste products that may be contributing to the cramp. There's a bunch of poop in my arteries. So there's a bunch of poop in my leg? Ew. Orwell's 4 Reasons for Writing. Sheer egoism, a desire to seem clever, to be talked about, to be remembered after death, to get your own back on grown-ups who snub you in childhood. What the fuck? Who wrote this? By Matt Thart. Stupid. Aesthetic enthusiasm is number 2. Historical impulse. That was the third one, to sort of document what's happening and your thoughts on what's happening. And then the fourth is political purpose, which he makes some really great points in this book that everything is inherently political. If I'm not mistaken, the Channel is a thing that used to connect the UK to France. Is that not, does the Channel exist anymore? The Channel Tunnel. The Channel. A rail tunnel under the English Channel connecting Folkestone in the UK to Coquelles in France. I am a genius. That's so funny. They were like, Channel Tunnel, fuck it, Channel. Do you know what I mean? Fuck it, too much to say. Fuck it. It's too much in the fucking mouth. Channel. Primeval. Of or resembling the earliest ages in the history of the world.
Primeval.
Primeval. What is Greek gods' relationship to humans? The gods intervened in human affairs, sometimes benevolently, other times capriciously, and even for their own amusement. See, that's what I'm saying. Humans, in turn, relied on the gods for protection, guidance, and even as scapegoats for their misfortunes. Okay. Is recuse the word I'm thinking of? Recuse.
Okay, that's actually not what I'm thinking of. So
Recuse is to challenge a judge, a prosecutor, or juror as unqualified. Oh, he recused himself. You've been recused. To perform legal duties because of a potential conflict of interest or lack of impartiality. A judge excusing oneself from a case. The Justice Department demanded that he recuse himself from the case. Recluse. A person who lives a solitary... Recluse. A person who lives a solitary life and tends to avoid other people. Romani community tarot. The Romani community has a long and significant history with tarot, not as its creators, but as its custodians and practitioners, particularly in the realm of fortune-telling. While the exact origin of tarot is debated, it's clear that the Roma have played a crucial role in preserving and developing its use for divination and wisdom traditions, fortune-telling being a survival trade passed down through generations. Some Romani individuals express concerns about the appropriation of their cultural practices and symbols when non-Romani people use tarot. Why is the Grand Prix 57 laps? Right? Because that's such a specific number. I don't know. The number of laps in a Formula One, this is from Gemini AI Overview. The number of laps in a Formula One Grand Prix is determined by the minimum race distance, which is 305 kilometers. The number of laps needed to reach that distance varies depending on the length of each circuit. Oh. For example, the Miami Grand Prix is 57, while the Melbourne Grand Prix is 58. Now that is crazy. Why is it 305? Why is the Grand Prix 305 kilometers? That was another thing when I was watching the Ferrari movie. They did not stick to the accent, and it was making me very sort of, that kind of turned Swedish for a second. If you're going to do Italiano, stick with the Italiano. And they were saying city names, and I was like, bro, it was just, that was my one note. I was like, God, I wish this was in Italian. Anyway. Rather than haphazardly racing on random roads in each nation, rules established in 1989 dictate that each race would run for 305 kilometers or 190 miles. Each circuit's length will vary, but an F1 race will see the drivers repeatedly lap the track until they complete 305 kilometers. Entropy? Not entropy. Yeah, entropy. Is that a synonym for chaos? Entropy, the measure of a system's thermal energy unit doing that. No, entropy, meaning in life. The natural tendency for systems to move towards disorder and randomness, ultimately leading to a decrease in usable energy. Yeah, I guess entropy. Why do llamas spit? It's really rude. Llamas primarily spit to communicate with their herds. Me to y'all. Me spit all over this desk, and y'all are like, yes. Yeah, write that down. Establish dominance, me to y'all, and defend themselves, y'all to me. They may spit at other llamas to assert their position in the hierarchy or to goofy animal. Why are you spitting? Keep it in your fucking mouth and your pants, you pervert. They may spit at other llamas to assert their position in the hierarchy or to warn them away from food or personal space. Spitting can also be a way for a female llama to signal that she is not interested in a male's advances. Hey, let's adopt that. You want to come near me? Right? Get the fuck back. While llamas rarely spit at humans, they might do so if they feel threatened or mistreated. Who's mistreating llamas? Y'all better be nice to those damn llamas. Y'all better be nice to llamas and moose, because you know how I feel about moose. Meese, if you will. The Llamanese. Y'all know my thoughts and opinions on the Llamanese and the meese. Be kind to them. They will turn on us, and I will not be the one spearheading that fight. I will be hiding. Because I know I come secondary to meese and llamas. If they've been raised primarily by humans and haven't spent much time with other llamas. On rare occasions, like 1 in 10,000 does, female deer can grow antlers too. While horns grow from the base, antlers actually grow from the ends or tips. What the fuck? Horns grow from the base, antlers, horns. There's a difference between horns and antlers? Horns and antlers difference. Horns and antlers are both head-borne structures found on various animals. They have distinct differences. Antlers are made of bone. What? They grow annually and are shed and regrown each year, often branching out like trees. Horns, on the other hand, are composed of a bony core covered in a keratin sheath. It's got a foreskin. The horn has a foreskin. Bruh, ew. Put it away. Which is the same material as human nails and hair. Ew. Horns are permanent and do not shed. Photic sneeze reflex. The photic sneeze reflex, also known as Achoo syndrome, is a condition where bright light triggers sneezing. I have this! I literally have this! That's crazy! How do you track that? Why looking at the sun can make you sneeze? What the fuck? It affects an estimated 18 to 35% of the population. While not fully understood, it is believed to be a genetic trait, with some theories suggesting a connection between the nervous system and the eyes. While sunlight is the most common trigger, other sources of bright light, like camera flashes or certain types of lighting, can also cause sneezing. The exact mechanism behind the reflex is still not fully understood, but some theories involve a connection between the eyes, nervous system, and the nasal passages. Did I already look this up like 100 episodes ago? One theory suggests that it refers to a horse named Charlie that was used to pull the groundskeeper's cart at a baseball field. The horse was known to have leg cramps, which the players would jokingly call Charlie horses. Another theory attributes the term to a baseball player named Charlie Radbourne, who was known to suffer from leg cramps during games. Then why is it called a Charlie horse? Regardless of its exact origin, the term Charlie horse has become a common colloquial term for a sudden, painful muscle cramp, typically in the leg. Now, see, I would believe that it was from a groundskeeper's cart at a baseball field. Charlie horse. Oh, I got a Charlie horse. Also, not very inventive for the name, right? I've got a Charlie knuckle. I'm going Charlie mode. That's what they should have said. I'm busting a fat Charlie. I'm busting a Charlie. That's what they should have said, but they didn't. Late 19th century, they never would have understood busting a fat Charlie. They never would have gotten that. How many sons does Bob Marley have? 7. Damn. Ziggy Marley, Damian Marley, Rohan Marley. 12 kids. Damian, Ziggy, Rohan, Stephen, Kaimani. Just for one fucking day, I'd like to go on God's internet and not have a goddamn ad pop up. Motherfucker. Every single free space on God's internet has a fucking ad on it. How does tarot work and where do the cards come from? Interpretation of symbolic imagery, yes. They are believed to work by accessing the reader's intuition and subconscious, sometimes in conjunction with external influences like spirits or collective symbolism. The cards themselves are thought to be a conduit for accessing this information rather than possessing inherent power. Yeah, it's kind of like a Ouija board, but not as... Why are Ouija boards bad? They're believed to be a form of divination, which is forbidden by some religious and spiritual beliefs. What do you mean by divination, though? What is meant by divination? The practice of seeking knowledge of the future or the unknown by supernatural means. Are tarot cards not also divination? A medium of divination? Some people believe that Ouija boards can connect users to spirits or entities, which may not always be benevolent. Here's what I want to know. History of Ouija boards. Is it Ouija? It's Ouija. The Ouija board. Luigi. A talking board for communicating with spirits was patented in 1891. Now see, here we go. The fucking capitalists coming in and patenting a spiritual practice. 1891 by Elijah Bond and popularized by William Fuld, who took over its production. While Bond and others initially saw it as a way to contact the dead, it was Fuld who marketed it as a game, capitalizing on the growing American spiritualist movement after the Civil War. The name Ouija itself was reportedly given by a planchette on the board when asked what it should be called. Oh. Define Ouija. Oh, that just kind of sent a chill down my spine. Is Ouija an Egyptian word? Ouija is called, what's happening when you use a Ouija is called automatic writing. And the marketers of the original boards claimed the term Ouija itself derived from an ancient Egyptian word for good luck, though any casual observer can see that the word was formed from... Though any casual observer can see that the word was formed from combining the words for yes in French and German, oui-ja, tying into the yes and no that appear on the board itself. A note on pronunciation, either Ouija or Ouija is acceptable. Okay. Now that is very interesting to me. How do hummingbirds breed? Male hummingbirds are typically more vibrant, often with a bright red, iridescent throat patch called a gorget. Females, on the other hand, usually have a white or pale throat with less intense colors. That is very interesting to me. That is very interesting to me because something similar is with ducks, with mallards. I'd hate if my, what is that called? Scientific etymological name is mallard. You might as well call me a bastard. How long does it take to adopt a new accent? Younger individuals under the age of 8 tend to more readily pick up accents, while older individuals over 14 may find it more challenging to completely assimilate a new accent. Yeah, here's the type of shit I want to know. If I move to Britain and live there long enough, would I ever develop a British accent? I had an okay, this is a comment from 10 years ago. I had an American accent. I am not American. Before I moved to Britain at the age of 14. Why did you have an American accent? Now, nearly half a decade later, just say 5 years, I have a hybrid accent such that British people think my accent slightly hints towards an American accent. That's not what I don't give a shit. What does it mean? Mercury retrograde. It's moving backwards. It appears to be moving backwards. It's an optical illusion. What does it mean? Astrological. Mercury rules communication, travel, technology, and mental processes. During retrograde, these areas may experience challenges or delays. Well, I'm always having a sort of mental delay. They do this, it's called the mille miglia, the 100-mile mille miglia. Famous car race that takes place in Italy. It's a historic race for classic cars, not a high-speed competition, and it's characterized by its unique route through beautiful Italian landscapes and the warmth of the public. It began in 1927. It's 1,000 miles, referring to the original race route, which spanned about 1,000 Roman miles, approximately 1,500 kilometers. Damn. Today, the Mille Miglia is primarily a race for classic and vintage cars, celebrating the rich history of Italian automotive design and engineering. Yeah, period. Taxonomy. The scientific study of naming, defining, and classifying groups of biological organisms based on shared characteristics. I'm a genius. What is the purpose of lymph node. Lymph nodes filter lymph fluid. Now imagine if lymph fluid was nymph fluid and we were all nymphs. We were all water nymphs. Tarot cards originated in 15th century Italy as a card game called tarocchi, because double C's in Italian are, that's k, right? Double C in Italian pronunciation. In Italian, double C is generally pronounced as a single k sound, similar to the hard C in words like cat or cup. However, if the double C is preceded by an H, it becomes a hard k sound, like in words where ch should be pronounced as k. What? The word kiosco, which is CH, is pronounced with a hard k. Yeah. Words with H before the double C's are still pronounced as a hard K. For example, Pinocchio is pronounced with a hard K. Okay. Similar to Pinocchio. What? Do I have to drain my lymph nodes? It moves waste towards your lymph nodes to rid your body of toxins. Well, I don't have any toxins in my body, so consider that. Okay, well, what about a toxinless free person? Toxinless.
I don't know, but I found some results on Earth.
So Google just started talking to me from the other room. Okay.
Girl, that happens to me all the fucking time. I keep seeing swans everywhere. Spiritual meaning. Swans often symbolize purity, love, and transformation. In many cultures, they represent the journey of the soul, moving from one stage of life to another with grace. Their ability to switch effortlessly between water, land, and air is seen as a metaphor for adaptability and spiritual growth. And that I claim. Seeing swans can be full of spiritual meaning. Due to their habit of mating for life, swans have this spiritual meaning of a soul-deep connection. The fact that they tend to put their heads together and form. Okay, we get it! What language is spoken in Monaco? French. Monegasque, a variety of Ligurian, is the national language of the Monegasque people. However, it's the primary language of a very few people. There are several other languages spoken in addition to French and Monegasque, including Italian and English. Because look where it is. La familia estamos, naco. Joie de vivre. Hannah Montana pillow meme. Yeah, this one. I used to have this Hannah Montana pillow that I used to pour milk on and suck the milk. I used to have this Hannah Montana pillow that I used to pour milk on and suck the milk back out of it, and it was sopping wet all the time. I used to slam it against walls and it would make a loud thud. What is wrong with you guys? Moose next to human. Oh, look how big this bitch is. Damn. I'm sorry, but like, its antlers are the size of a human body. It's antlers! Do moose have antlers? Is that what that's called? They're just way too damn big. And I do like how their feet look like they have little high heels on, though. I think that's kind of cute, but it still kind of freaks me out. And his coat is so shiny. It's a beautiful color. Someone's been feeding him Caesar dog food, the wet kind. Beautiful, shiny coat. Moose, antlers, size. Moose have the largest antlers of any deer species. They can span over 6 feet. These antlers are flat and broad with points growing from the flat surface. Antler size is influenced by age, nutrition, and genetics. They're used for establishing social rank and mating success. Oh my god, moose have a 1%. Meese. The meese. The earliest decks were created for the wealthy and were often hand-painted. These decks, like the Visconti Sforza deck, included a 5th suit of trump cards, distinguishing them from standard playing cards. While initially a game, tarot cards later gained popularity for divination, particularly in the 18th and 19th centuries, with occultists assigning symbolic meanings to the cards. One of the suggested searches is tarot okay for Christians? Relax a little bit, guys. Hey, it's going to be okay. Many Christians object to tarot because of its associations with divination and fortune-telling, but others are increasingly using the cards as a tool for self-directed spiritual contemplation. That morbid curiosity, that macabre interest in the occult has always fascinated. You give a Puritan society or a Puritan religion knowledge that the occult is out there, no one's more interested than someone who adheres to a strict and stern religion. Quincunx. What the fuck is that? An arrangement of 5 objects with 4 at the corners of a square and the 5th at its center. What? I'm right-brained? What side of the brain is creative? Right. According to popular view, creativity is a product of the brain's right hemisphere. Innovative people are considered right brain thinkers, while left brain thinkers are thought to be analytical and logical. There is a rat in the kitchen! Linguini! While it's a popular misconception that math is primarily a left brain function, it's more accurate to say that mathematical processing involves both the left and right hemisphere of the brain. Crap. What the flip? Seeing swans could mean that you and your mirror soul are about to make contact, be it in the dream realm or in the 3D. That depends on the level of interaction you already have, of course. What? You might see swans when you're dealing with some obstacles or doubts of your own, or when your twin deals with them. Who is my mirror soul? What does that mean? Look, let's Google it. The Devil Tarot card meaning. It represents being seduced by the material world and physical pleasures. Also living in fear, domination, and bondage, being caged by an overabundance of luxury. Discretion should be used in personal and business matters. The Devil Tarot card suggests feelings of obsession, addiction, and entrapment. It can signify a sense of helplessness due to external forces or circumstances. However, it reminds you that you're responsible for your actions, and your perceived constraints are often self-imposed. Moose, like other members of the deer family, shed their antlers annually, typically in winter or early spring, due to a decrease in testosterone after the mating season. Hey, been there. They get post-nut. They get post-nut shedding. When I shed my antlers. Oh my god, I am the stag queen. I forgot. Mirror soul. Mirror souls, often associated with the concept of twin flames, describes a deep, reflective, and intense spiritual connection between 2 individuals. It suggests that these individuals mirror each other's thoughts, emotions, and even past traumas, facilitating personal growth and self-discovery. But here's the thing about stag. Is a stag a boy? Is a stag a boy? It's a male. Okay, well, in my alternate reality where I'm also a water nymph, stags can be women. And women can have antlers. I guess women can't have antlers, huh? Women deer. Antlers? Can female deer have antlers? Like, can you have PCOS as a deer? Can you have some chin hairs and maybe grow some little half-chubbed antlers? While typically only male deer grow antlers, it is possible for female deer, does, to grow antlers, though it's a rare occurrence. Well, you're looking at a rare occurrence. This usually happens when there are hormonal imbalances, boom, such as abnormally high testosterone levels, or if the deer is a hermaphrodite. T. Male deer produce testosterone, which triggers the growth of antlers. If my gyno explained PCOS to me in terms of Bambi and a deer, I think I would have gotten it a little bit more. Cryptid of the week. Oh, okay, Google AI is actually showing it to me. This week's featured cryptid is shadow people. Now see, that's not a cryptid, that is just downright fucking terrifying. These shadowy humanoids have been reported since the earliest days of written history and are described as shadowy in color but humanoid in shape. Some believe them to be ghosts, demons, or even a yet undiscovered creature. Yeah, I don't really want to know about that. Okay, the devil card upright signifies the shadow self, attachment, addiction, restriction, and sexuality. Reversed, releasing limiting beliefs, exploring dark thoughts, and detachment. Very T.